Hi there, Tim Bauer here from LiveVideoGuitarLessons.com with a practice tip of the day. This was for the intermediate player, and today I want to just show you how to change strings on a Fender Stratocaster. Different guitars have different ways the strings mount on there, so I just thought I'd do this with my Strat today. You're going to need to know how to put strings on your guitar because you're going to get somewhere you're going to break one, and you're not going to want to have to run down the music store every time you need a new string. So anyway, some Stratocasters have locking tuners, and mine does. If yours doesn't, you don't have to worry about that part of it. If you do have locking tuners, I'm just going to loosen the string over here. And what the locking tuner does, it makes it where you don't put so many windings on the posts over here. So, and I'm going to loosen the locking tuner in the back. They just turn. Just going to, you can see that. Just turn it up, give it a little turn, and that loosens up the string, so I can pull it out of here. What I'm doing, I'm just kind of loosening it, and I think it's wrapped around there about twice. If you don't have locking tuners, you need, especially these plain steel strings, you need them to wrap around the post about, 8 or 10 times so it'll hold its tune better. So anyway, I'm just going to pull the string out of here so I get it unwound far enough. There we go. And Stratocasters, the strings feed in from the back. They feed in through these holes back here. So when you're taking it off, you just push it back into the hole a little bit, and then it will come out the other side like that. And then you just kind of pull it through. And you just do the reverse for the new string. The ball end catches in the hole. So I'm going to put the non-ball end through the hole. And by the way, do this one string at a time. Don't especially on Strats or anything with a tremolo system on them. You don't want to cut all the strings off. And number one, it's not good for your guitar. And if you have a tremolo system, you're likely to find yourself with a screwdriver readjusting the claw in here because it can cause your bridge to pull up. When you go to put all the strings, when you really saw that tension, it changes the kind of the shape of the bridge, and when you go to put them all back on, oftentimes it'll pull up from the back here. And instead of sitting on here like it's supposed to, it'll be sitting way up here. And then you'll have to take this plate off. We'll do this in another video, but there's a claw in there you'll have to adjust. Easiest thing to do is just try to keep as much tension on there as you can. And if you do them one at a time, that will be the case. And plus, you keep your tuning reference. So I can use. I'll have 5 strings on here that are in tune. Okay, so if you don't have locking tuners, you want to leave yourself a lot of slack like that, and you want that all wrap around the post. Because mine will lock, I'm not going to leave that much slack. I'm just going to leave a little bit, and I'm going to tighten up my locking tuner back here. I'm just going to kind of bend that up so it'll roll around. And on guitars without the locking tuners, you're probably going to want one of these. Just be careful and learn how to use this kind of slowly. But you use this to kind of to wind up the string. Because I don't have to wrap it around that many times, I'm just going to do it by hand. And this is called a string tree. I'm going to make sure the string is under the string tree. And I'm just going to kind of just wind it up. And if you don't have locking tuners, you have to pay a lot more attention. And I'll be posting other videos for other guitars to kind of show you how to do it. But you have to kind of pull back on the string to make sure the string winds properly on the post. Like the locking tuners make the job a lot easier. And if you do have windings on there, you want to make sure they wind down the post so you get the proper angle over the nut. So anyway, it's starting to tighten up a little bit. So I'm going to put it in the nut slot. Make sure it looks good over there. Make sure it's in the slot. Make sure it's in where it's supposed to be down here on the bridge. Sometimes they get snagged on things and end up in the wrong place. And then I'm just going to tune it up a little bit. And this is my tuning reference. This string is an E. And this is the same E note, so I'm just going to use that. I don't have it plugged in, so if I can't hear it, but that's my E. I'm just going to tune this one until it sounds like that. Be careful. I'm tuning it kind of fast, but you should do it kind of slow till you get used to it, because if you go too far, and instead of you miss your E and you end up around F sharp or G, somewhere around there, your brain will play tricks on you and it'll tell you to tune up to this E, which is an octave too far. Or too high, and you'll end up breaking the string. So I'm going to do it a little slower, just for demonstration purposes here. Just listening to my E, and I'm getting kind of close. There we go. A little too far. And when you first put it on there, your strings, especially on guitars with floating bridges, your strings gonna stretch a lot, or it's gonna stay out of tune a lot. One thing you can do to make it seat itself a little better, just grab it and give the string a bend, kind of in the high frets, kind of in the low frets. That causes it to seat properly down here and to seat properly over here. Then I'm gonna retune it. You're gonna notice it's a little flatter. And I'm gonna do it again. And usually I do that about 3 times. And I do each string. So all the other strings, same idea. On the bigger strings, if you don't have the locking tuners on there, leave yourself less slack. On the skinny strings, say you want like maybe 10 windings over here. I know it sounds like a lot, but the more windings, the better. If you get 5 on there, that's probably fine, but 10 will hold its tune better. And that's about this much slack. When you get to the bigger strings, there's not as much room for them to wind the post. So if I were changing this one on strings without the locking tuners, I'd probably leave maybe 2 inches of slack, maybe an inch and 3/4, because I want it to ride. It depends on how tall your post is. Maybe 2 inches. But anyway, I'd want about 3 or 4 windings of this one if I have room for it, and maybe 3 or 4 here, maybe 4 here. This is plain steel, so you have lots more room there. The string's not nearly as big, so I can get 6 or 7 there, and then maybe 6 or 7 there, or 8 or 10 here. Just you get better at estimating as you change your strings more often. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Tune in tomorrow for another practice tip, and thank you for viewing this one, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.